Hello and welcome back, and in this video we're going to look at the boot process. Now the boot process can either be a soft boot or a hard boot, and both terms are related to how a computer is turned on. A soft boot is essentially a reset or a restart. That is where the computer already has a charge going into the computer and it's being turned on again. A hard boot is essentially where the computer is cold. There is no charge at all, and there's a series of steps to go from that situation all the way up to the point where a user is able to use the computer. What we're going to look at in this video are those steps. So on the board we see it in pictorial form. We start with a switch which we go and turn on. By turning the on switch on, we create an electric charge. There is a wire actually in the computer that is called the good wire. The job of the good wire is to inform the CPU that there is enough charge in the system for the CPU to carry on the boot process. The first job the CPU will do is to go and find the read-only memory, the ROM. Contained within the ROM is BIOS software, Basic Input-Output System. The job of the BIOS is to do a series of tests. One of the tests within the BIOS testing is the post test. Post being power on self-test. Do note that the post test is done well before the operating system is loaded. So back up to here we have the BIOS test, which does lots of tests. One of those tests is the power on self-test. And the job of all the BIOS testing is to test the various components within the computer to make sure that those components are working correctly. Once that testing is done, then there is a comparison made to another component within the computer, which is the CMOS chip. CMOS being complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Found in the CMOS chip, which is actually a volatile RAM-like storage, so that's why there is a battery connected to the CMOS. The CMOS holds information about various parts of the hardware. So hard drive, disk drive, sound card, network cards, USB ports, all essential information which the CPU needs to be able to get them started to get the computer up and running. The CMOS will also contain time and date information. With all that information now, the basic input-output system found within the ROM needs to go and find the operating system. It will do that by looking for a program called the Bootstrap Loader. The Bootstrap Loader is the first program for loading the operating system into RAM. The first programs built within the operating system, the most essential programs of the operating system to going into RAM, is called the kernel. So kernel are the most important part of the operating system that goes into RAM. Once that has been loaded, the rest will follow, and that will be things like the operating system's registry. So for example, the rest of Windows will be put in, or OS X. Things such as passwords and user preferences, such as like the desktop and mouse speed are put in. So by the time the registry has been put into RAM, we have an operating system that is now fully up and running, and the user now can get on and do all his jobs. I hope you found that interesting, Have a good look at the pictures, and then I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.